I'm going to do a review of company, the Old West Bullet Moulds is the name of the company. And it's a place that makes some specialized bullet molds for a lot of real odd, old, obsolete cartridges. And I didn't know it until I had the need to look for it. He also has different reloading dies in that, like basically crimp dies for healed bullets and a lot of the old obsolete European pistol cartridges and some older US odd obsolete cartridges. So what happened was when I bought this French Tabatiere, I'm going to say my French is bad, rifle, I wanted to reload for it. So in my search I found that this company had a bullet mold for it. And basically it's about, it's a 17.8 millimeter, which is kind of on par with a 12 gauge shotgun. That's why a lot of these guns got converted. So a 17.8 bullet mold, you know, something unusual, but this guy had a hollow base bullet mold, and he also had a set of reloading dies. So one thing about it, the guy's name is Bernie Rolls, R-O-W-L-E-S, but I contacted Bernie. He answers my emails within 24 hours. I kind of said I was interested in a set of the bullet mold and the reloading dies. And he said it's on the website. So I ordered it. And he goes, are you going to use this for a 12 gauge shotgun or do you actually have the old rifle? I said I have the old rifle. So I ordered the hollow base bullet mold and the reloading dies. And the whole thing come out to about $289.65 with the shipping. Now what I received was bullet mold, reloading dies, there's a shell holder. He actually has a couple of the bullets. He sent me samples of the bullets, I guess, that come out of the mold. So I have several of the hollow base bullets. And in the packet here, there was a shell holder that is made for, you use a brass 12 gauge Magtech 12 gauge brass. There's a little note in here. He said, I found annealing the cases helped the forming process and ran it about 50 thousandths at a time and easily formed the case out of the sizing die with plenty of case lube. Okay, the rims of the Magtech cases are rather thin and the shell holder could pull through if the if the case sticks, so form carefully. Okay, so there isn't much of a rim on there. And he says, let me know how these work for you, Bernie. And he sent me a little sample cartridge. You know, no primer. But supposedly, I guess, he made this case from the 12 gauge Magtech brass. And seated a bullet on it. So I said, that's pretty neat. So what I did is, we'll see. Pull it back. And the cartridge goes right in there with no problem. So that was pretty neat. So it's a very unusual cartridge, and I have something to go by. So, like I said, shell holder, case, sample bullets, you know. Let's take a look at the bullet mold. Comes in a nice plastic box. Has instructions, all the Allen wrenches you need. And he does suggest somewhere that you only use, on the top here, 130 or 140 lead alloy. That's 1 pound of tin to every 30 or 40 pounds of lead. And it says tap hollow base handle very lightly if it sticks and remove before cutting the screw. Or remove before cutting the screw. Okay, so there's instructions. Now all of his molds are made out of brass. Okay, some companies give you a choice or whatever, and some of them, like Cast Bullet Engineering in Australia, they're all brass. And so we have a hollow base bullet mold, which basically on the bottom you have this large knob, and there's a screw here, and you turn it and there's a roll pin, and the plug or the base comes out. So you see there's a screw on the bottom, there's a roll pin here, you place it in the mold, and that's what keeps it in the mold while you cast. And I guess he says to withdraw this first, then knock off your sprue, and there's your bullet mold. Pretty nice item. Brass. Now brass, you have to kind of be careful. Keep your lead alloy at about 800 and don't overheat them and warp them. But you do have to get them somewhat warmed up for they'll cast a good bullet. But I've always had good luck with brass molds. They're just a little delicate and you have to handle them a little bit more carefully than steel molds. And again, don't overheat them. So that's the molds. Really nice quality, nice item. And then the reloading die set, which I believe is the large size, like for the 50 cal or the Snyder and that, the 1 inch, I think it's 1 or 1 1/4. I forget the thread pitch, but they're large dies. And I believe he turned these, so you have a sizing decapping die. You have an expanding plug here. Very nicely machined, you know. Got an expanding plug, and then you have a seating die. See, there may or may not be a crimp in there. And it might be, it looks like a step. And then you have a seating die. Okay, all adjustable. Pretty basic set. Now, when I contacted the man, and he said, well, I don't have it on the shelf. I can get it made up for you here real quick. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks he had this to my house. Okay, he answers his emails in 48 hours. CH4D does make a set of dies, which I think I've seen him for sale in over in Europe, one of the places, and it was like 300 euros just for the dies. So you can get them from CH4D, but like I said, with several other things I've been looking for, he's 18 months behind in back orders. And this fella got me a set of dies, a bullet mold and everything in 2 weeks. So if he stocks something that you're looking for, he's the guy to do business with. You know, he doesn't have everything, but he does have a nice wide selection of hard to find stuff. And I mean, this here is pretty neat. I even got a little sample round to go by, which nobody who makes custom dies does that for you. You know, gives you an idea. I can pull that apart and measure it and figure out what I'm going to work with here. And the sample bullets are a nice item too. You know, you can go out and reload immediately. So everything's there, instructions, advice on how to use it is all put in there, what alloy to use. So I have to give him a thumbs up, and I wanted to do this video, do a review for him. and that way I can email him and tell him I'm pretty happy with the product and the service that he provides. So it's a place to check out, and if he has what you're looking for, it's probably a good place to do business with. That's Old West Bullet Moulds. Just type that in a Google search and it'll take you right up to the website.